Hi, this is going to be the monthly energetic forecast for the month of November 2023. For those of you who haven't tuned into me doing this before, I used to do monthly forecasts on my Instagram, and I've recently, I'm also doing them on TikTok. So hello if you're watching it on TikTok. However, this is only part of it, so if you're interested in seeing the full video, I'm going to be uploading it to my YouTube channel as well. So it's all going to be there if you're interested in kind of tapping into the collective energy for the month of November. And that's what I've done. I have been trying to do readings for the past couple of days, like collective readings, and I kept getting like glitches, like it was like it either wouldn't upload or like it would delete itself, or like weird technological stuff kept happening, and I kind of got the feeling that I was to hold off until I'm doing the sort of monthly forecast, which is something that I typically do anyway. So thank you for being here. That's what we're gonna do. For those of you who are new to my readings, I typically use a combination of tarot and channeled messaging. So I'm going to be tapping into source energy to channel, using myself as an intuitive channel to see if we can get some messages through, as well as using 2 tarot decks and an oracle deck just to round it off. So that is what we're going to do today. We're going to really tap into the energy. But before I start pulling cards, what I want to say is I've been tapping in for the past couple of days, and every time I do a reading, now I have 3 tarot decks, and every time I do a reading, I have pulled the Tower card from 3 different tarot decks. And for those of you who are new to tarot, the Tower card essentially represents dramatic change. So the truths being revealed, the veil coming off, or people just kind of coming into really dramatic realizations. It's essentially when your life just completely shifts in a very dramatic way, or seemingly dramatic way, right? But it typically happens for the good of all, right? So it's usually something that is like divinely timed, and there can be positives to it, but obviously it's quite an uncomfortable process to go through, right? Now the fact that I pulled 3 from 3 different decks tells me a couple of things. The first thing that it tells me is, if you're watching this, if you're part of the collective that's watching this, there's a big shake-up happening this month, energetically, financially. I'm also getting like there's going to be a big shake-up this month, right? And it's essentially going to help you ascend, right, is what I'm kind of getting. So things have to fall apart in order to be built back up again. But what I'm also getting is there's a domino effect happening in your energy right now. So if you find that you are also going through a tower moment, there is a high probability that the people around you and your energy are also going through a tower moment. So just something to be mindful of, right? Like what's really coming through is we want to make sure that you're establishing a sense of community this month, right? But also being very, very, very mindful of the towers that are coming down. So I just pulled the Hermit card in reverse. So a lot of you have been in isolation mode recently. It's 3:33 on the time, and as I said that, take it as it resonates. But a lot of you have been in Hermit mode recently. So the fact that the Hermit came out reverse tells me that it's time for you not to be in Hermit mode. It's time to fucking go, is what I'm getting. is what I'm getting. So if that resonates, then take that as it resonates. But what I'm really getting from that is, I feel like the tower moments that are going to happen for you and also collectively are kind of going to force you out of isolation, is what's coming through. So we're going to see if we can get a bit more information about it. Now, when I was making the intention to do this energetic forecast, I immediately started to get downloads, because like I simply just set an intention, it just started to kind of come in, and one of the things that came in was the song Hallelujah by Paramore. It's not Jeff Buckley's Hallelujah or Paramore's cover of Jeff Buckley's Hallelujah. It's their song called Hallelujah. And the first line, I'm not even going to sing it, like I'm not even going to do that to myself. The first line is, somehow everything's going to fall right into place if we only had a way to make it fall faster every day. If only time moved like a dove, we could make it fly faster than I'm falling in love. So there's a lot of symbolism of things kind of falling down, but I feel like you've been impatient in these, like, I think this past month, so October, you've been feeling really impatient. Like, you've been feeling this change coming. 505, as I said that. You've been feeling this change coming. And Spirit is asking you not to rush it. Right? Like, it's divinely timed is kind of what I'm getting. Yeah, so the High Priestess came out. So the High Priestess is all about intuition, tapping into your intuition. So you might notice that your intuition has been really, really tapped in this past month. And you might notice that it continues to get heightened as we move into November, right? So your intuition is really, really on point this month, and I need you to sit with that. The Nine of Swords. So a lot of you have been feeling this energy. Like this, a lot of you have been really feeling this dramatic energy coming in. And I say dramatic because I do feel like it's going to shake things up for a lot of you. I think that there's going to be a lot of truths being revealed this month. And something fell in my chair. What was it? The Three of Wands. So this is calling for you to look at those truths from a higher perspective, from the perspective of someone who has actually put in the healing work, which from what I'm hearing is something that you've absolutely been doing, right? So even though in the moment of that tower falling down and that truth being revealed and all of those things kind of coming to the surface that you maybe intuitively kind of knew were there, I need you to look at things from a higher perspective, and Spirit also needs you to look at it from a higher perspective as well. So there's going to be a lot of that. There's going to be a lot of betrayal though in those tower moments. But I don't want you to feel like... I don't want you to feel afraid of it. Oh, I just split the deck. The Tower card. I can't even make this up. The other side of the deck, though, interestingly enough, is Strength. So this is going to be really, really shocking for a lot of you. Like, whatever is going to happen is going to be quite shocking. Or maybe, like, I'm almost getting that, like, the tower was already starting to, like, fall for a lot of you. So you're kind of almost being left with, like, the rubble. Like, a lot of you are being left with that rubble to kind of dig through. See if there's anything else that wants to come through. I keep hearing, like, it's fine. Like, I keep hearing, like, reassure them that it's fine. Because it is, right? Like, it's a very, very interesting energy, though. What I'm channeling right now is there's a lot of structures. When I say structures, like systemic structures and systems that are not sustainable anymore. And a lot of that will fall. Like, a lot of those illusions are starting to, like, fall. Or they are going to just fall. Like, and it's going to be quite... I keep getting... The word calamity keeps coming into my mind, which is not typically a word... like, a word that I use. The Devil card in reverse is at the bottom of the deck here. So that is kind of telling me that there's a lot of big change coming on a systemic, macro, collective level. But it is going to impact all of you on a micro level. Or at least you're going to feel it. Like, if you're someone that's tapped in, like, you are going to feel that energy shift in the next... I'm getting, like, 7 days. Like, the number 7, so that also could mean November 7th, 27th, 17th. So that's on a collective level, right? Like, that's happening collectively, which I think explains the amount of tower cards that I got yesterday. Yeah, so the Hanged Man came through. So this is this is going to mean that you are seeing things from a different perspective. And it's like a higher perspective. It's the perspective that you've needed to see things from in order to make those amends or make those changes or have those breakthroughs or have those epiphanies or those aha moments or whatever it is that's like trying to trickle into your brain. Because I feel like for a lot of you, you've all felt stuck recently, really stagnant, really fatigued. Maybe for a lot of you, you've been getting sick recently, or you're on the brink of being sick. I know that I've been on the brink of being sick for quite a while now as well. And it's really taken it out of you. And I think for a lot, like I'm getting a lot of like exasperated, like hands in the air kind of thing. Like, what's the point? Especially those of you who are spiritually inclined, you're starting to doubt your higher power. Please don't, is what I'm hearing. Please don't. I need to move this. This is driving me nuts. I tried to move and then the sun went down. So, or it went behind a cloud anyway. Here it comes again. Can you see that? Oh, okay. So, a lot of things are going to be illuminated this month. Yeah, of course it is. Let's see what we have. I need you to trust yourself this month as well. Trust your intuition. Hang on. A lot of you are going to find yourself walking away from things this month. Whether that is, I'm getting like things that you have felt like karmically tied to recently. So that could be career related, but it also could be family related. It could also be in relation to relationships or connections. But like I'm getting this, like, that you're walking away from things that you have kind of felt like you've been death gripping recently, right? Like you've been like really holding on to stuff, hoping that it might serve you in the same way that it had before, but knowing intuitively that it no longer does. And I'm almost getting like that in of itself is going to cause a lot of you to almost doubt yourself, and you shouldn't. The bottom of the deck here is the Judgment card. So this is all about karmic rebalancing, right? Like the Judgment card is not about placing judgment. It's about receiving kind of just desserts on something that you were supposed to do. And sometimes that includes walking away, and walking away can be really difficult. And I got kind of like choked up as I was saying that, but I think that intuitively, the collective watching this, you know that it's part of the process, even if it doesn't quite make sense, right? So I'm trying to come out here. Because like you're going to be rewarded for it eventually, right? But this card kind of reflects some kind of commitment as well. So I think perhaps a lot of you are walking away from things to commit to something else. And the Wheel of Fortune at the bottom of the deck here, so that's all about divine timing. Like that's things are as they are as they should be, right? Like, so that's what that's all about. So I think intuitively you kind of knew this, and the fact that the sun's about to shine back in my face again is confirmation. So take that as it resonates, even if I get blinded in the process. Oh. Yeah, in the world, another confirmation of divine timing as well. Like this is like, I feel like the term soul contract keeps coming into my head, and I feel like for a lot of you, you're being called to commit to a soul contract, or complete a soul contract, or close out certain cycles is what I'm hearing. Yeah, you're being like I need a little bit more about that. So you're being asked to close out certain cycles here. Yeah. So the Six of Swords, like you're being asked to tread carefully. There's like something about treading water. like approach with caution, but like almost like not to be impulsive right now is what I'm hearing. Or not to be reckless in how you kind of, any decisions that you're going to make. I'm going to pull from another deck actually. See if anything else wants to come through. So this is just the Rider-Waite Tarot cards that I'm using. The other ones I was using were the Phantom Wise Tarot, and they're such a beautiful deck. It's amazing. So let's see if there's any more information about this cycle that needs to get closed out. My ear just started to ring. Oh, yeah, you've been really, like, holding in a lot of truths recently. Because I think that you've been worried about rocking the boat too much, which I'm thinking maybe is where the Six of Wands, like the boat imagery was coming through. Like, I wonder if you've been worried about rocking the boat. But kind of Spirit is asking you to not be as guarded as you have been. Like you were, like, in no judgment, you were guarded for, like, you felt like that was the right thing to do, but it's asking you to not be. What's this? Yeah, like, I mean, ultimately, the walking away from certain situations is going to reward you in a lot of ways, right? I'm also getting, like, you're going to be very emotionally fulfilled by what it is that you're walking away from this month. Because I can't shake this feeling that for the past month, maybe even 3 months as well, a lot of you have felt so bogged down, and maybe a lot of you have felt like you haven't been able to tap in to source in the way that you usually can, or maybe you've kind of felt like a lot of your gifts have been like muted is what's coming through. And I think it's just because you kind of had this decision to make because of these towers, right? Because of those moments of clarity and truth that were coming out. And I mean, ultimately that it's coming with a sense of loss, right? Like there's loss in it, but it's opening doors to new things, right? This Queen of Wands energy is coming through, and I feel like there's just like an energy in your energy right now that kind of sees this coming and is almost trying to like prevent it from happening. But with like the Knight of Swords on the bottom of the deck, that's kind of like, it's telling me that you have been logically minded and very careful and very intentional about how you sort of wanted to proceed here. And the Wheel of Fortune, once again, like that's come out twice now. It's divine timing that all of this is supposed to happen. Is that's just what I keep hearing. Once again, the Hermit, get out of hermit mode. Like it's time for you to share what you've learned being in isolation recently in November. Like that's what's really coming through. Oh, yeah, like in the Ace of Pentacles, so it is going to give you a lot of wealth. It potentially could give you a lot of success. And obviously success is like, it's subjective, right? So take that as it resonates. For you, that could be money. For someone else, that could be emotional success, whatever. But like whenever I get an ace of a certain suit, that usually tells me that there's a completion of a cycle that has happened. So I feel like right now, because of all of the weird Ascension symptoms that you've had, maybe you felt fluey and like kind of fatigued and tired and all those things, like because of those things were happening, because you were about to close off a cycle. So you're going to feel a lot better once you do that. Like you're not going to feel as if you're like fighting this battle when you close off that cycle, right? Because there's new opportunities that kind of await you. Like it's almost like your energy is going to kind of shift when things start to kind of fall. Now that is like, I know that we kind of weaved in and out between like on a macro level, there's like systems and structures that are falling into like more of a micro level, right? But like obviously please take this reading as it resonates. Like this is just, I'm trying to, as I'm reading for the collective here, like I'm trying to capture the picture, and right now I'm getting a lot of different sort of visuals and messages that are kind of coming through. And I feel like maybe for a lot of you, because of the collapse of certain like structures that are falling, that were no longer sustainable, like that's probably had a ripple effect on your life, because I think for a lot of you, you felt really trapped and kind of imprisoned by those systems and structures. So like this is, it's almost like a time of rebirth. In the middle of the deck here is death, the death card. So that's kind of telling me that there's a lot of possibilities, and there's like new beginnings to be kind of had, but unfortunately that often will come at the expense of things maybe coming down in like a tower moment kind of way. But I don't want you to dwell on it, right? Like there's no use in dwelling on it. It's going to happen regardless. And there's a lot of, like I said, like emotional fulfillment. The cups to me always represent emotional fulfillment. So like there's going to be a lot of like gathering of community and all of this, but also like there's going to be a lot of people that want to give you things, and as a result of this, whether that's just knowledge, wisdom, maybe it's actual physical gifts, right? Like take as it resonates. Hang on. But Spirit is asking you to stop worrying, like stop, like I feel like a lot of you are up at night right now. The veil is really thin right now, and a lot of you feel that, especially at night. Like a lot of you are feeling really connected to the moon recently, and like the nighttime sky, and a lot of you are finding yourself reflecting at night. But it's also causing a lot of anxiety and a lot of like thought distortions, but that's all they are, is like thought distortions, right? Like it's, you almost need to harness in like your truth, right? Like the truth of your soul. Because like ultimately when you do that, you're going to be given what you've wanted, right? Like everything that you've wanted. What else do the collective need to know for this month of November? So the Five of Pentacles on the floor there, and what I'm pulling from this card is to try to the best of your ability not to be so hard on yourself right now. This month is really going to shake up a lot of stuff for a lot of you, but I think that it's a lot of positive change like is coming from it. And for a lot of you, it's hard. Like it's like you're almost being tested right now, but you're protected at the same time, right? So I just split the deck there. So I've put all the cards back in this deck to see what, if any of them want to duplicate, and the Judgment card's at the middle of the deck here. So that like this is a time for you to kind of like reassess the priorities in your life and judge them accordingly. I think that there's been such a huge shift because the veil has been so thin. There's been such a huge shift for a lot of you personally in your spiritual development, your ascension. And it's almost like there's a lot of you that don't even recognize like the person that you were before, right? Like I'm almost like getting, first of all, what I'm really noticing is like the scales here, right? So like it's all about the scales being balanced, but like you've kind of stepped into this timeline where you're able to actually sort of give to people in a way that you've maybe always wanted to, right? So the scales have kind of balanced themselves out here, and like this card to me is all about what you're choosing to put out into the universe and what will essentially come back to you, right? Because it's all reciprocal. And I think for a while, a lot of you have put out some like like resistant energy, denial energy, like you've been kind of in denial about a lot of the stuff that's been happening, a lot of the truths that have been trying to like reveal themselves recently, but it's like it's happening whether you like it or not, right? Like the moon, so this shadow that you have been in, like you've kind of felt like you've been in like the dark night of the soul recently, and it's all been for the purpose of like you kind of like leveling up and ascending to that next level. But unfortunately that does mean that you will have to leave a lot of stuff behind. And when I say a lot of stuff behind, I think a lot of people kind of think that like that means, you know, people or like, and sometimes it does, of course, right? But sometimes leaving things behind can literally mean leaving, you know, versions of yourself behind that didn't believe you could be where you are now, right? Like versions of yourself that have limiting beliefs, versions of yourself that are like that have doubt and old values that you used to hold, and like you can kind of let that go, right? Like you can, and I feel like for a lot of you, those things that you're letting go are almost like stacking up, like they're kind of stacking up, and I feel like a lot of you have been looking at it and going like, well, you know, like I can't walk away from that, like, because that's something that, like, it's almost like again, you kind of feel like your loyalty is being tested here. And this could be, again, please take it as it resonates. This could be really a number of things, job related, relationship related, just a number of things. But hang on, yeah, the death card's coming back out again. So again, there's something new that's being presented from all of this, and justice card at the bottom of the deck. Right? Like, you're going to receive justice from this. May not feel like it. I think for a lot of you, you're kind of like, doesn't really feel like it. But you will. So I'm going to try this other tarot deck, and then we're going to go into the oracle deck. See if we can get a bit more specific about this energy this month. What does the collective need to know about the energy this month? And how to protect themselves? Yeah, better boundaries. Like, immediately we need better boundaries. I think for a lot of you are going to feel really, I'm hearing pariah. Like, a lot of you are going to feel like a bit of a pariah. And as a fellow pariah, my heart goes out. But you are protected. Like you don't have to worry about this. Like these attacks are coming at you from people that are like a lower vibrational frequency. You don't have to worry about that, right? Like, and easier said, I get that, but we need better boundaries this month to get through it. Better spiritual boundaries. So maybe that is just like taking more time for yourself, allowing yourself to step back whenever you're starting to feel activated. Whatever it takes, just better boundaries. What other messages do we have for the collective? Yep. Hanged Man came through again. So again, this is all about, this month is all about your perspective being shifted. Completely shifted. The Empress is in the middle of the deck when I split it there. So the Empress is all about fertility, abundance. But I'm seeing, like, when I think of fertility, now for some of you that could mean a child, but in this one I get creative, like a spark of creativity. Like I feel like a lot of you are going to get that, like that creative spark back again. Like you're going to be able to complete your projects. You're going to be able to like actually do things this month. You're going to feel a bit more motivation this month as a result of things falling down and having to walk away from the rubble, so to speak. Underneath that is my favourite card of this whole deck, and if you have followed me, you'll know why. But it's the Chariot card. The Chariot card is all about universal permission to just go. Like, do it. Do the thing. Go. Right? So if you've been looking for a sign, you're like, no, this is the wrong decision. Like, this is your sign. Go. Like, you're protected right now. Whether that means you are leveling up to like a new version of yourself, or whether that means that you are being asked to pursue a certain career, relationship, whatever, like, go. Be honest. Like, there's nothing, No wrong can come of you standing in your integrity is what I'm hearing. Okay, hang on. So the Two of Cups came through. So the Two of Cups is all about a soul connection. So there's a soul connection in your energy that I feel like a lot of you have kind of pulled away from, maybe. Yeah, you've been watching this from. A lot of you have been really doubtful of this connection. No, not doubtful. I'm getting that the timing wasn't right. In the background of this card here, like there's a ship in the background. I'm almost getting like, I wonder if you feel like the ship has kind of sailed on this one for you, but it hasn't, because with like a soul connection, like with the Two of Cups energy, like you can't fake connection. Like you can fake a lot of things. You can't fake connection, right? Like I feel like there's a connection that a lot of you have been trying to just like kind of push to the side. Just ringing in my ears as I was kind of saying that. So I feel like maybe that connection is going to be on your mind this month, or it's going to be something that you are you may have to resolve this month. Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Okay, so do you know how the Wheel of Fortune and the World came out together before? So the Wheel of Fortune and the World came out together before. So the ship is not sailed, is what I'm hearing. Whatever this soul connection is, whoever this soul connection is, it's like there's like, this is like a divine timing thing with the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune is all about things happening in divine timing, right? But then the World card is also very reflective of like things are kind of as they should be. So on this specific timeline, like this is supposed to have happened, is what I'm hearing. Can we get a little bit more information about this soul connection, please? The cards are being shy. Or are you being shy? What's this? What is this? The Six of Wands? You've been cautious. Oof. You have been treading really cautiously with this soul connection. I'm wondering if for a lot of you it's because you're like too good to be true, or maybe you've been hurt before, or maybe it's like, I don't know, you seem like really cautious. So I'm just gonna, I smell. Okay, so the Lover's in the middle of the deck there. So I'm getting like twin flame energy. Bottom of the deck is the Nine of Swords again. So I feel like a lot of you have been almost communicating with this person telepathically at night, is what I'm kind of getting. But with the Ace of Wands, like this is another cycle completion. So there's like almost like you had to go through that period of like hermiting in order to like kind of like come together again. Let's see if we can get more information. A lot of you are nervous, so I'm starting to feel nervous. Oh, that is a lot of cards. Hang on. Okay, so we have the Ten of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles, King of Wands, and the Hierophant. So I'm almost getting like, especially from like the Hierophant, like you've kind of learned all that you've needed to learn about yourself up until now, is what's coming through. The Ten of Pentacles being all about abundance, right? So like abundance can mean a different things, but it's almost like, and what I'm really getting pulled to is this Tower here. So I feel like the tower that you that's maybe going to fall down for you had to fall down so that you could build a new tower. What's also coming through here is almost like batten your hatches. Yeah, like it's almost like, please be wary, mindful. The Magician here at the bottom of the deck. Which is almost like, I'm really drawn to the infinity loop on top of the Magician's head here. So like I almost feel like there's, the connection is like, it's infinite, but it's almost like magic, right? Like it's a very magical connection. And you've been kind of carrying this burden around for a while though. A lot of you have carried that. So the energy of the month is really all about releasing those burdens and like kind of trusting your intuition a little bit more, completing cycles, walking away from things that need to be walked away from. The Devil reversed at the bottom of the deck here, so that like it's really all about you're being forced to kind of go within this month. Yeah, the Tower card again. Like you're really being forced to go within this month, because I think that if I can be quite honest, I feel like a lot of you have been trying to avoid this happening. Whatever it is that's coming at you, or whatever this connection is, or even like whatever the cycles that you're completing are, like I feel like a lot of you have been kind of in denial about, well, if I don't focus on it too much, it's not going to happen, or kind of playing the Magician of like, because I keep getting like almost like images of like a bunny being pulled out of a hat. So you're kind of like, you're trying to pull the wool over your own eyes. And the messages that are coming through is like, you can keep doing that if you want, but you know, the truth is, it's coming out. Like the truth is going to be revealed. And I think that a lot of you are going to be quite relieved by it. Justice card once again at the middle of the deck. There's going to be a lot of relief. Like a lot of you are going to like feel like there's just going to be a lot of relief. I'm going to use my Oracle deck and see if like anything else wants to come in. That Tower card, man, I tell you. But we're all going through it, so like on a collective scale. So like I want you to harness the power of community right now. I'm using a Native Spirit Oracle deck. Let's see if we can pull any messages from it. Yeah, Shapeshifter. There's so like all this changes is there's so much changes happening inside of you that I don't even feel like you can. Excuse me, that you can reasonably go back to the person that you once were. I'm also getting from this card that like I feel like a lot of you have had to almost change your persona for people lately, and Spirit is asking you not to. Oh, Spirit is also saying that people can kind of see through it, right? Like there's people that are actually like seeing through the facade, because it's like your mask is kind of slipping. And it's like, it's time for you to be yourself, right? Like it's time for you to kind of transform. Hang on. Vision Quest came out there. So it's time for you to transform for the purposes of seeing things from a higher perspective. So that's been another theme for this reading too, is this idea of higher perspective. What's this? Just be mindful of any hoodwink is coming through. Like, what? That's not a word I usually use. Any hoodwinks in your vicinity. Any, what am I trying to say? Be mindful of people in your energy that are going to try and alter your perception based on their own perception of themselves, is what's kind of coming through. But I feel like a lot of you have kind of felt that as well. So there's a lot of people that are around your, not a lot of people, there's energies around you, because I'm speaking collectively, right, that are unwilling to also level up in their own lives. So they're going to try and throw that illusion at you really hard, especially because they're going to see you transcend, right? They're going to see you transform, and they're going to really try and throw that illusion at you really, really hard. And this card is really just asking for you to be patient, like, but not at the extent of like necessarily forgetting it. You can forgive it, but like, people are on their own journey, and the spirit of fire just tried to come out. So this could be in relation to a fire sign, or a kind of fiery person, but trust your own intuition with this. The tracker just kind of tried to slide out earlier, and I feel like the tracker is all about kind of finding the truth, right? Which I feel like you have found, and the people in your energy right now are afraid of that. There's going to be a lot of animosity coming at you, and I just want you to, and I'm not saying that to be negative, I'm not saying that to be any which way at all. I'm saying that to prepare you, because whenever any transitions happen, what we typically will find is people that are not matching us energetically on the same vibrational frequency, so to speak, and they stay where they are, they tend to get really bitter and frustrated, and they will typically like lash out. Now, the energy of October was very much like people lashing out and trying to latch on and trying to like seep and intercept and suck the life out of people, but like that's kind of trickling into November. But I feel like there's definitely a lot more of you that have done a really good job either closing out those cycles, people or energies, and or walking away from those people, cycles and energies as well, right? So just kind of give yourself a little bit of kudos in that process, and we'll see if we can get a final card. Yeah, like, so again, this is another one about perspective. Like, with the ego here, I don't know if birds are relevant for the collective. Maybe they are, but there has been a lot of bird imagery that's come out. But this is all about soaring and seeing things from a higher perspective. Or you have been seeing things from a higher perspective, and I feel like for a lot of you that was a deal breaker. That perspective was a deal breaker. And that could be in relation to a number of things too. I split the deck at Freedom Horse. So once again, this is like universal permission to, this is like this Oracle's deck's version of the Chariot card. So this is universal permission to just go. Whatever that means. Alright, so to recap, woo, the energy of November is intense. However, you have the tools that you need to move through it with relative ease. Set better boundaries for yourself. Be mindful of the people in your energy that are going to try and drag you down. Be mindful of the cycles that you are closing and how you choose to approach the closures of those cycles, remembering to offer as much peace and grace and loving energy where you can. There's no use in you doing anything from a place of frustration, because it essentially will find you in abundance, right? But the biggest thing here is that there's tower moments happening, not only for you on a micro level, but also on a macro level as well. So just keep your eye out for how that might impact you as well. Keep an eye on your energy this month. Your energy might feel like this month, and I split the deck again at the reversed Hermit card. So again, that is all about the time for isolation is over, right? Like, so it's time for you to sort of reclaim your power, is kind of tap back into your energy and start new cycles, right? Like, and when I say new cycles, I mean like new chapters as well. So November is a time for new things to be born. And in order for that to happen, things do have to fall, right? I hope that this helped a lot of you funnel through the energy of this month. I hope that it resonated. If you were interested in booking a private reading with me, shoot me a message and we can get that sorted out. Otherwise, I will see you in the next reading I do, but definitely in next month's monthly forecast. So be good. I haven't stopped it. That was really awkward. This is like when you say goodbye to someone and you end up going in the same direction. I hope November serves you well.